Hey, this is Rose RCG Creations. How are you? I'm bringing you today a new card. I'm back into my swing of card making. I think tomorrow night when I get home from work, I'm going to be making some bread. With the winter storage that we had here in the South Houston, Texas area, things are getting a little scarce. Grocery stores are starting to fill up. We went to the grocery store yesterday. There's a lot of things we found. Had no issues with anything, but I personally my husband and I both like to make our own bread, just for the simple fact is we know what's going in it. We know exactly ingredients, and there's not a lot of the preservatives that they use. We're kind of basically trying to stay away and working on staying away from processed food with a lot of preservatives, just because. But anyway, so today we're going to be making a card, but I'm going to be using these glitter glitz. So I'm put and a sponge dauber. Okay. First thing I need to do though is I need to get some ink, and I went ahead and pre-cut these out of my. I'm still using my 6x6 pad. This is going on my third week, and look at how much I still have left to do. I didn't realize when you do these little pieces and cut these out, this really goes a long way. So I may invest in buying more 6x6 pads for card making. They're also going to be. They would be good also for scrapbooking, because unless you don't really use the entire page, you do bits and pieces. But anyway. This is a good fourth week that I've been using this same pad, and I still got looks like over half of it left. But anyway, this is the signature collection by Sarah Davies called Rustic Cottage, and it's a 6x6 paper pad. Okay, now this I went ahead and just cut because the theme of this card, this is for a swap that I'm in, and I have my little sticky note right here of what I need to do. Is you get your card, and this is just an 8.5 by 11 cut in half, and then you angle a piece here and then here, and then you put some kind of little decoration here. I don't know what I'm going to do with that part yet, but I wanted to do this because I saw this on Simon Hurley's YouTube channel, and I will really try to put a link down in the description box. I don't know how to put it in the screen thing part yet, but of the video, but if I learn, I'm working on learning all this other little things, but like everything else, life happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little stencil. This is from the Tim Holtz collection. These are the shifter stencils. Actually, no, these are not the shifters. This is just a stencil. So, and let me get my set of brushes. I have a set of these blending brushes, one set for my regular Distress ink, and one set for my Distress Oxides, just because I've read a bunch of places where you don't want to contaminate your brushes. So let me find me a big enough brush, and I'm doing blue because I am using Distress Ink Faded Jeans. Okay, so let's ink up the brush and just swivel it around a little bit here. And I'm using my craft mat, so I'm okay if I go over. I'm alright with that. And it's not going to do the whole thing, but I'm going to line it up so it does, because I want to be able to get over the whole edge. Okay, so you know what, let me get my Windy Vacuum Media Mat. Let me get that out of here, just for the simple fact is I don't want to have to be moving this around too much. And this is a metal mat. And let me line this up just so it's straight. And this is a magnet. This came with the media mat, and I purchased this clear media mat separately just because I wanted to have something. And let me line this up. Okay, so that's on there good. Okay, so okay, here's the edge, and I want to be able to, I'm using my magnet right down here. You only really need one. Yeah, I'm going to show you. You only need one. I don't need this magnet, so I'm going to put this away. Don't need I got this in the kit, another magnet, little L shape. I think there were two of them in a kit. This one and that one, I believe, but I could be wrong. Okay, and I'm just going to ink. Oh, you know what, before I don't want to ink in here at all. So I'm going to get my washi. I reuse my washi until it doesn't stick anymore. Frugal Rosa here. I'm going to get as close as possible to that without going over. And I'm going to tape that down just because I want to make sure. And I want my stripes to go all the way to the top and all the way over to the edge. So now I'm just going to ink. And you see how that moved when I moved with the brush? That's okay. I'm going to just line it right back up to where I was before. And I'm good to go. And I'm just going to hold this bottom edge down here. And all I'm doing is inking up the stencil. I'm just inking it up. Whoops. See how I moved it? I may end up just taping this over so I don't have to mess with that anymore. You know what? I don't have to do that. I can just put my magnet there, and that should take care of that. Let's see if that works. Yep, that sure does. And I'm moving up and down because these are stripes instead of going side to side. And I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure on the sponge. You can use these sponges by holding onto the tips, or you can hold on to the handle. It's whatever is comfortable for you. I just find more control and comfort in holding it by the head of the brush. I think it's almost time for me to re-ink my ink pad. And do yourself a huge favor. Anytime you buy an ink pad, get yourself the refiller. And if you can, get at least 2 of them, because you just don't know if you're really going to love that color or not. And if it gets discontinued, you're done with the color once it's been discontinued. And if you don't find any refills, because there are a lot of sub-sellers out there on Facebook, YouTube, that sell old discontinued ink and ink pads and re-inkers. Let me move this. Because I'm coming to the edge, I'm just going to hold on to it. And I moved it just a tad, so I'm going to move it back. Hold on to this. As you can see, this bag is holding this in pretty darn good. Oops. I big time moved that one. Okay, I'm going to finish the whole thing, but I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to show you the next tip. So there's my little lines. Now I just want to go back. Just going to push it down so I can go to the edge, and I want to do the bottom half. I'm going to move this one down here. And there we go. Then I'll finish the rest of the card. Okay, I'm back. So I've went ahead and inked the whole thing. I'm still leaving everything taped down. My magnets are still here on the last part that I just inked up. Now you get your art glitter glue. And I'm just using the clear one just because I have it. And I only want, what you're doing is it's going to give you a light shimmer over the inked area and not the white area. My thing got hard. That's the only thing bad with this stuff. These things, they get hard. So this one's no good. Throw it away. It's only half used, as you can see. So do yourself a huge favor. Don't stock up on these unless you use them all the time. Because, like, look at this one. Not even halfway, and it's already all dried up. And it stayed sealed, too. But I hadn't used it, I know, like in 3 or 4 months. So let's see if this wood is any good. Okay, yeah, it is good. As you can see, I had it rolled. So let me get myself a paper towel. Wipe this off. And what you want is you want a little bit. You don't want a whole lot. What you want is just you want a little bit of a shimmer. And I'm only going to try to put it on, I'm going to, of course, just use all on the stencil, but I'm only going to do it on the ink part. I'm not going to do it on the rest of it. Because I just want, you want a little bit of a shimmer is what you want, without a whole lot. So you don't need a whole lot of this glaze. This is actually the Gina K Designs Thermoweb Glitz Glitter Gel. And this color is white. There it is. It's just plain white, but there's the information on it. So you want to just tap it, and you want to just go right over the ink spots, because you want it to have just a little glaze. Okay, done that. Pick this out. Let's move my stencil up. And here's where I have to be kind of careful, because I want to line it up. I'm double checking, make sure my stencil is lined up, which it is. And I would do, FYI, do yourself a favor, put this in a separate, once it totally, let the sponge totally dry out, and then put this in a separate container, that way you don't contaminate with another color. I don't really know how much of this contamination occurs between colors and sponges, but I'm not going to throw the sponge away. Or if you can't, just put it under some sink and wash it, because it'll wash clean in hot water and soap. I use Dawn. That's all we ever buy is Dawn. So I don't want a whole lot of glitter, but I want a little bit of glitter. Okay. It's not going to really so much be glitter as much as it's going to be a big old shine. Alrighty, now let me get onto this spot. I'm going to go back to use what I did the first time. I'm going to line it up with my first spot. Bless you! My husband just sneezed, and we like to say bless you to each other when that happens. And so this is what I'm going to do here. And I am just smearing on the glaze. He just goes, "Are you recording?" I go, "Uh-huh." He goes, "You just said bless you." "Uh-huh." He didn't realize I was recording. He's out helping a neighbor. Her car, with the winter freeze, her car wouldn't start. I think it's the battery. So he's helping her take off the battery of her car. Okay, that looks pretty darn good. Now let's move this up. And let's get the top half. And then as soon as you're done with this, run to the sink and rinse this off your stencil and off your sponge. Oh, look at that! I smeared some glitter. I'm not gonna waste it, you know, for Rosa. No, let me get my little wipey, because I don't like sticky stuff, because I'm a little messy and I don't want to smear it on something else. So when I'm using it, whenever I'm using glitter glue, any kind of glitter or anything like that, I use a wipey, and I use it once and then I throw it away, because I don't want to get the glitter on anything. Oh, that did not work. Oh no, I messed up. Only want the glitter on the blue, not the white. And I gotta remember, I gotta do the glitter on that top of that side too. Okay, that looks good there. Take this off. Now let me do the glitter on the top of this one. Okay, that was ink. That was ink. It's fairly easy to line it right back up. You may not be able to see this on the camera, but it is fairly easy to see to line up the stencil from where you were before. Okay. I will tell you this, I'm going to start doing some more videos with glitter because this doesn't last very long if you don't use it. So don't open it unless you know you're going to use it. Because as long as it stays, they do wrap it in a seal tight cover. And then you have to peel it off. Okay. And always close this tight because apparently air is your enemy on these things. Okay, so that takes care of that one. Okay, good. Now I have to give it a little bit of time to dry. And so I'll bring you back in a minute. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and wash this under hot water. Okay, I'm going to take the reveal. I'm taking off the washi. When you do this, make sure you do it very, very slowly. Simple fact is things happen and you could be tearing your cardstock. This is my Nina 110-pound weight cardstock. So it shouldn't have a problem, but better safe than sorry. And there's still plenty of stickum. So I'm putting this right back onto my roll of washi because I can use it again. It's another tip on recycling what you've got. Okay. Alright, so that's all there. That's done. I don't need my little media mat anymore. Let's move this out of the way. Okay, go back to the cardstock here. Now my format is I put one of these here and I will cut around it. Okay, one goes around here and one goes around here. I need to go all the way to the very edge. Okay, so let me fold my card and then I just want to show you. See the little shimmer? Do you see the shimmer there? I think you can, since I'm moving it around here for y'all. But it's not pretty. It's another way to use what you've got. Okay, we need this to be right in here. So I'm going to add my glue. And if I get a little bit off, that's okay, but I'd rather have more on here because I'm just going to cut it right off. And I want to use as much, but I got to go all the way to the very corner. Okay. Here we go. And because you have wet glue, you have a little bit of maneuverability time frame. And see, here's the extra. That's okay. This is art glitter glue, so it's going to dry. Let me get myself a wipey. I just don't want to get any glue on anything that I'm working on. Now I'm going to use my Teflon coated scissors. And I'm just going to cut on the edge. And then this part will get thrown away. And there we go. So that's that part. Now let's do the same thing on this part. Okay, whoops. Almost that. I don't know what that was. Let me get rid of my mess, clean up my mess that I just made. Okay, now let's trim off the excess on this one. It's nice to have your little trash can right next to you. And if there's any residual glue, just get your little wipey and wipe it right back off. And then I don't want, once I get anything moist on my scissors, I always like to have them open just so they air dry. And I could feel that glue when I was wiping them down. Let me just roll this over, get any glue off my fingers. Okay, so we're set on that. Next thing, we gotta put little dots. Any little accent centerpieces here. We're getting number 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. That glue is way too much. But that's okay. I got way too much glue and I got it too spaced apart. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this one. Because this is art glitter glue. It's going to dry clear. It's not going to hurt anything. Get rid of the excess there. Just redo this and make it a little smaller dot. Now these are already adhesive, but when they're kind of old, you don't know what's going to happen with them. Oh, let me get my little baby tweezers. I like to take them off. Ooh, I had some, I was doing some embossing, and I'll show you in just a minute what I was embossing. So I got some glue on here and glitter, embossing powder. Okay, and I've got 2 different colors here of these little flat back rhinestones, but I'm going to go ahead and do, whoops, did you see that? I'm all over the place today. Okay. Alrighty. And then let's do the blue on this side. I want to make these exactly the same. But let me push that up just a tad because I'm not on the edge. And let me get the other blue. I don't need this one. We'll put that away. And then the light blue. As you can see, I'm going with the blue format. This could be like for a man card or a male card or a female. It doesn't really matter. Let me space them out. Don't want to space it too far. Okay. That looks pretty spaced pretty good. That looks spaced pretty good. Get my magnets out of here. Now I'm going to use my centerpiece that goes on top. So that's going to go ahead and... Oh, I was wondering, what is that? I had used this as the back end of this for a stamp. Wanted to see what it said. Sometimes what I try to do is one of my stamps is I try to go ahead and do an image of it. I have a little notebook that I created here. So that way I know exactly what it says. Because when you're under that fine print stamping, you can't see it until you see a sample of it. Okay, so that's pretty much lined up there. And then I created a flower with this little, this is a Marvy stamp puncher. And what's nice about it is, see, that's what it's supposed to look like, but it all comes in little pieces. So you have to put all the pieces together to make the flower. So I'm going to put that right here. And then the little tips touch each other. That's my center. I know this card is a little busy, but I did it on purpose. Because it's, again, like I said, you could do it for a male or female. It doesn't really matter. And there you go. It's a little busy, but you know what? That's a little too busy for my taste. So I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to use the white I already have white on the background. Let's see what that looks like. Let me see if I'm happy with that. Actually, no, I'm not happy with that either. I think what I'm going to do is cut something else out because I don't care for that. I'm going to cut a different color. Let's see here. What am I going to do? What do I want to do? Because that was too busy. It didn't. The flower didn't stand out. It got too involved with the card. But I do like the white. Let me redo this again. Let's. A circle dot. I know it's okay, but you know what? I don't feel it. I don't like it. It's too much. It's too busy for me. So you know what? Let me go find something else to get a flower punch, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I went ahead and did one of my little dies here. This is from Spellbinder's Nest Abilities. It's called the Big Scallop Circle Large. And there it is. And it was the third one. So I need to use that. And I went ahead and did it on a blue paper, which is the same blue card. That's actually not cardstock, not paper, that I used to cut these little messages. And these little messages were made from the Spellbinders Shapeabilities Phrases Set 1. It comes with best wishes, happy birthday, congratulations, so sweet, thanks, and hi. And there's that, and then there's the item information on that one. Let me get back here. Let me show you the item number information on that one. It doesn't have the same thing. They're not all the packagings are not exactly the same. So, but let me go ahead and give you the background here. So if you want to Google it, you can do that. And what I did is I got this and I embossed it with my clear embossing powder. And I have this in just a little container because there's no sense in taking it in here. I'm good to go with this. Okay, so now I'm going to get my little tweezers and I'm going to add my glue. I went ahead and did this off camera because this takes some time and I'm trying to keep a short video today. So I did this off camera just to save on some time here. Now I'm going to say hi and then best wishes. Let me see where my wishes is going to go. I kind of want to offset it a little bit because this whole thing is kind of busy. I did this on purpose because I'm tired of always staying with the same norm stuff. So let's do this one. Let's make this offset just a tad. And put that on there. Now let me get this one. And all I do is just dab the glue on the bits area, certain areas. I don't do it on every little part, but I do it on the focal points that have tendency to go up, which is usually the edges, all of the edges. Okay, now let's line this up. All right, there, that looks good. Make it straight before I push it down. But because this is what adhesive, you do have room to wiggle, move things around if you need to. I'll get my wipey here. Clean off my excess. Okay. So there's the front of the card, and then I used the glossy accents from Ranger to color in on the high, so it kind of shines a little bit. So you got glitter on the blue little stripes. You got your little rhinestones here. I've got my embossing powder. You can just put something heavy, like a heavy mouse pad, or your cell phone, whatever, till all this sticks. It just takes a few seconds for it to stick. Doesn't even take that long. And okay, so we got a lot going here on this card, but I did that on purpose. So you got the got a piece of fuzz there. So I got a piece of fuzz right here. Here's my card. Now on the inside, I always have to do something on the inside. And you can see here where it's not trimmed exactly right. So I'm going to get my small scissors, and I want to trim this edge just because I like it to look as professional as possible. But I'm no professional by any means. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have to look like it. And of course, the more you practice, the better you get. There, that one actually did pretty good on that end, so I don't need to trim that off. So there goes that. Put my scissors back here. Put these scissors back away. They've already had time to air dry. Now do my front of my card. I'm going to do the same thing. And here's my happy birthday. This is also was embossed. They were embossed with the clear. I'm going to do my birthday first because it's longer and I want to make sure that it stays. It's centered. And again, I'm just putting adhesive. Let me get back over here so you can see better. I'm only putting it on different areas. I'm not doing the whole thing. Just the areas that I think we're going to lift up. Okay, so happy birthday. That looks, I want to put it just a little bit up. But I want to position here and here and even them out. I want it to be cohesive. And look nice. I love this little font on this die kit. And again, this is from Spellbinders, but it's so nice. And it's something different from the norm. So, same thing here. Add some glue. Now you can always put spray adhesive glue on here, but because this is such a fine, narrow font on the die cut, I'm just gonna, it's so little too, I'm okay with just jotting down some wet adhesive. Okay, so let's go ahead and center this about right here. Okay, that looks good. Hold it and pat it down. And I can't forget my little eye. Let's put a little glue here. Oop, way too much glue. Jot that down. Excuse the reach there. Let me get my tweezers. This little dot is so tiny. Hold it with my fingertip, fingernail, and we're good to go. Now, I tried to emboss this, but it was blowing all over the place, so I gave up. But I'm going to give myself a little drop of accent, glossy accents, to give a little shimmer. And actually, I'm going to show you. See, here it is with no shimmer. You can definitely tell that little dot is different from the rest of the letters. I hope you can see that on the camera because you could definitely see it in person. So now I'm just going to give myself a little squeeze, a tiny little squeeze of my glossy accents. And this is going to take about 15-20 minutes to dry, so I'm not going to close it up. But you'll see it, and it'll look just like the H-I on high. So it's got my little accent. But that's my card for the day. And I thank you so much for watching. I gotta leave this open because I don't want to get that little glossy accent piece there to smear. And oh, I wanted to show you. This is still wet. I washed it, and look, it totally came clean. So actually, you can use this for anything else. I don't have to worry about putting it in a separate bag. I'm just going to put it with my other one that's never been used. I have a little bag of my unused ones, but I try to stay with the same type of sponge for my Distress and my Distress Oxide, so that way they don't contaminate each other. And also, here is my stencil. It's all cleaned up. There's a couple of little speckles of the, I don't know if you can see that. I'm moving it up. But I can definitely see it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come over back here, and I'm just going to scrape it up. But it really doesn't matter because this is plastic. It's not going to hurt anything. It's just, this is the only time is when you're using glitter gel or any kind of a gel, it does leave a residue. You don't get it totally clean. But you can always go back with a wipey. You want to do it as soon as it's wet, when you've washed it, and you just scrape it, and it takes off the excess residue. And actually it took out a lot of it off. But this has been drying for about 30, more like 30 minutes. It took me about 30 minutes to cut all these letters and then cut them out. I did it on my Cuttlebug. But, you know, I'm okay. The little bit of extra residual, I'm alright with that. This is a tool. It's meant to get used. It's meant to get dirty. Hopefully you don't tear it, because when you tear it, you gotta pretty much trash it and get to buy another one. But these are tools. Remember, when you're using your tools, all these little tools that you're using, they're made to get used. They're made to get dirty. And that's what they're made for, you know? So, but you know, things happen. And then on my little sponges, I don't know, for those who don't know, all you do is get them like a microfiber towel, and then you just scrape it off. You don't really wash these. You can if you want to with soap and water, but you don't have to. You just continue to scrape it until the color comes off. Now it does leave a stain, but there's no more ink on here. And I'm going to show you. Here's some white. Look, there's no blue. I'm moving that around so you can see, because that's all it takes on these little brushes, is just clean it off on a. Almost everybody I see does a microfiber towel. So, and I buy these the dollar store, Dollar Tree. I think you get like 5 of them, and they come in all different sizes, different colors, whatever it is they have. And then I just store all my brushes in a little bag, because I take all my stuff to crops. I host a crop once a month at our HOA, which is right here in my subdivision, 2 streets over. And to save on space here in my craft room, and for the simple fact is that I take all my supplies to a crop, I store them in these little 12 by 12 bins, for the simple fact of it has to do double duty. So here's my extra sponge that I just used. Yeah, that's dry, and I did wipe off my stick here. And then here's my extra ones that I have, so that way I have my round one and my square one, depending on what I'm doing. And I always carry some extras of each. So this is my regular ink, archival ink. And here's again, this is just me. I choose not to contaminate my brushes, so I have a set of regular ink, any old everyday ink. Then I have a set of brushes for my oxides, and then another set of brushes for my regular Distress inks. One for each set, just because I don't want to contaminate it all. That's all. It doesn't mean anything. That's just me. And here is my container with that holes. Here's my oxides. Here's my regular Distress. And you know, you can buy these where you can create your own color. You just buy this by, I think these cost $3.99. I got this from Jen Evers at Quality Crafts. And you can make your own color. In fact, I made my own with this one. because I didn't have the pad, but I had the re-inker, because I had bought some stuff at a yard sale. It was just a bag of re-inkers, and there was no pad. But I had the 2 bottles of this re-inker, and it's called Rusty Hinge. Okay, and you can see, you can buy this in the plain Distress Oxide, or you can do it in the Distress Ink, either one. Okay, so actually this goes on this side over here. The Oxide goes over here, Distress goes over here. And I just stack them up because I don't have a whole lot. And then here's my little baby ones, my minis. These are my minis that I do have, and I just store them in there. And I store them upside down just because I like to ink. And then I always have a stamp cleaner because, you know, remember, I'm traveling. And then I have my embossing pen and my embossing powder. So if I want to emboss, I can emboss. And then here's another set of a brush holder. This is for, I went ahead and labeled it, this is for my oxides. So this is my brush for my oxides. And here is just for me a little list of all my colors of everything that I do have with my ink pads and my re-inkers. And then this one is your Distress Refresher. When it starts to run a little dry, just squirt some of this on your pad. Let me show you. Just squirt some on your pad and it refreshes the ink. And it makes it go a little bit further away until you have a re-inker. Now, before we got these brushes, I used to use my sponges for everything, so I put Velcro on the back of this. That way it always would stay together. I don't have the space or the finances to have a handle for every single sponge, so I just have one handle, one round and one square, and I just rechange my sponges. And these big ones here are big enough where you can do that too. And then you could use your Distress Refresher for any of your Distress inks, just to make it go a little bit longer. And so I have here, and I know there's on here somewhere, that's why I have my embossing powder. I have in here somewhere, it's a Distress ink. Let's see if I can find it right quick, because I don't want to make this video go too long. Okay, no, it's not on here. But anyway, you can buy a Distress ink, and then you got your embossing powder, and then you are able to use this ink for distressing. So make sure you oh, I do have, here it is, Distress Embossing Ink Refill. So one of these in here somewhere. It's in here somewhere. Here's my Distress ink pad. And then my re-inker, then my little sponges, and my little brushes. So this way I'm all set. You know, all I have to do is take this and one other 12 by 12 container, and I can craft for the whole weekend, and I've got all my supplies. But anyway, thank you so very much for watching. Don't forget to hit like, share, and comment, and subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. But I thank you so much. I got to be careful because I don't think this is dry yet. Actually, the top layer is already dry. See, it didn't take that long because it's a little thick. Can you see that? It's a little thick there on the little dot. I'm not going to close it. I'm going to wait and let it dry. Besides that, I have to go get dinner anyway. So, there's my card. I thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a wonderful day. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.